Hello students, let's continue with the chapter. The South African Constitution inspires democrats all over the world, a state denounced by the entire world till 1994 as the most undemocratic one is now seen as a model of democracy. So the Constitution of South Africa, it became an inspiration for the democrats throughout the world. And South Africa was once criticized by the entire world as the most undemocratic country, but after 1994 it is seen as a model of democracy. It is one of the finest constitution, it became one of the finest constitutions of the world. What made this change possible was the determination of the people of South Africa to work together to transform bitter experiences into the binding glue of a rainbow nation. And how this change came over there? So it was because of the determination of the people of South Africa that they will work together and they will change the bitter experiences of their past into the binding glue of a rainbow nation. They will make their country a rainbow nation. Rainbow nation means it describes the unity of various cultural, racial groups, ethnic groups in the country during the post apartheid era. That is, after 1994, the country became a rainbow nation where the blacks, the whites, and the colored all were united. Speaking on the South African Constitution, Mandela said, Nelson Mandela, he became the first president of South Africa. So he said, the Constitution of South Africa speaks of both the past and the future. On the one hand, it is a solemn pact in which we, as South Africans, declare to one another that we shall never permit a repetition of our racist, brutal, and repressive past. But it is more than that, it is also a charter for the transformation of our country into one which is truly shared by all its people, a country which in the fullest sense belongs to all of us, black and white, women and men. So Nelson Mandela said that the Constitution of South Africa, it includes both the past and the future. On the one hand, it is a pact that the people of South Africa declare that they shall never permit a repetition, they shall never repeat their brutal and repressive past. There, that you see that there was discrimination, racial discrimination in South Africa, so they will never repeat that past. And it is also a chart, and that they will change their country into one which is shared by all its people, whether these are black or white, women or men, all will be included in there, all will be united. So does the story of South African struggle for freedom remind you of the Indian national movement? Make a list of similarities and dissimilarities between the two on the following points. So the South African struggle for freedom, it was like Indian national movement. What was the main similarity between the two? That in both the movements, they were fighting against the white Europeans who had come to these countries as trading companies. Now we will read second topic of the chapter, why do we need a constitution? The South African example is a good way to understand why we need a constitution and what do constitutions do. The oppressor and the oppressed in this new democracy were planning to live together as equals. In South Africa, the white people, they were oppressors, and the blacks were oppressed, who were being ruled, rather who were being treated cruelly. So the blacks and colored, they were oppressed, and the white Europeans, these were oppressors. So they were planning to live together as equals. Now they were equal after the new constitution was made. It was not going to be easy for them to trust each other. They had their fears. They wanted to safeguard their interests. The black majority was keen to ensure that the democratic principle of majority rule was not compromised. They wanted substantial social and economic rights. The white minority was keen to protect its privileges and property. So, the oppressor and oppressed, these were both equal. So it was not easy for them to trust each other. They were very apprehensive, and they wanted to protect their interest. The black majority, who were the black majority? The natives of South Africa. They were interested that democratic principles should not be compromised. The democratic principles, equality, liberty, and fraternity, these should not be compromised. They wanted that they should be given social and economic rights. Means social rights, you can say that they should be given right to use public transport. They can go to churches. On economic rights, they wanted to be economically independent so that they may take good care of their family. And the white minority, who were the white minority? They were white Europeans. They were interested to protect their privileges and property. What are the privileges? They got some extra treatment in society, and they wanted that they should not be deprived of those privileges and their property. Yes, after long negotiations, both parties agreed to a compromise. The whites agreed to the principle of majority rule and that of one person, one vote. They also agreed to accept some basic rights for the poor and the workers. After long discussions, both the parties, they came to a compromise. The white Europeans, they agreed to the principle of majority rule, that there will be majority rule, one person, one vote. And they also agreed that there should be some basic rights for the poor and workers. The blacks agreed that majority rule would not be absolute. They agreed that the majority would not take away the property of the white minority. The blacks agreed that there will not be absolute majority rule, and the majority have no right uh, to snatch the property of the white minority. The blacks don't have right to snatch the property of the white Europeans. This compromise was not easy. How was this compromise going to be implemented? Even if they managed to trust each other, what was the guarantee that this trust will not be broken in future? So both the party agreed. They came to a compromise, but this was not easy. How will this compromise be implemented? If they trust each other, it's good, they trusted each other, but what was the guarantee that the trust will not be broken in future, that they will be able to maintain that trust in future as well? The only way to build and maintain trust in such a situation is to write some rules of the game that everyone would abide by. These rules lay down how the rulers are to be chosen in future. These rules also determine what the elected governments are empowered to do and what they cannot do. So, the only way so that this trust could be maintained in such a situation, it was that these rules should be written and everyone would follow these rules. These rules, what were the rules? How the rulers are to be chosen in future, how the rulers will be elected, and how the elected governments, and these rules will describe the powers of elected governments and the limitations what the governments cannot do. Finally, these rules decide the rights of the citizens, and with that, these rules also decide the rights of the citizens, which rights the citizens will be given. These rules will work only if the winner cannot change them very easily. This is what the South Africans did. They agreed on some basic rules. They also agreed that these rules will be supreme, that no government will be able to ignore these. This set of basic rules is called a constitution. These rules, whatever rules they made, these will work only when the winner government cannot change that easily. And South African did so. They made some basic rules and they agreed that these rules will be supreme and no government will be able to ignore these rules. And this set of basic rules, what is constitution? This set of basic rules is called a constitution. Constitution making is not unique to South Africa. Every country has diverse groups of people. Their relationship may not have been as bad as that between the whites and blacks in South Africa, but all over the world, people have differences of opinions and interests, whether democratic or not. Most countries in the world need to have these basic rules. So, the constitution, it was not only in South Africa that they needed constitution. Every country there has diverse groups of people. There are different languages, different religions, different types of people. So their relationship, maybe that they the people's relationship was not as bad as in South Africa between whites and blacks. In South Africa, the situation was very bad. Maybe in in other countries, the situation was not so. But all over the world, people have differences of opinions and interests. But this thing is clear that people have different opinions, different interests throughout the world. Whether democratic or not, most countries in the world need to have these basic rules. It doesn't matter that the country is democratic or not, or it is not democratic, but most countries they need constitution, they need some basic rules, and this applies not just to governments. Any association needs to have its constitution. It could be a club in your area, a cooperative. Yes, it could be a club in your area, a cooperative society, or a political party. They all need a constitution. So, it is not that governments need constitution. Any association, whether it is a club, a cooperative society, a political party, they all need a constitution. Thus, the constitution of a country is a set of written rules that are accepted by all people living together in a country. So, what is the constitution? What is constitution? Its definition is that the constitution of a country is a set of written rules which are accepted by all people who live together in a country. Constitution is the supreme law that determines the relationship among people living in a territory called citizens, and also the relationship between the people and the government. Constitution is the supreme law which tells us about the relationships among citizens and the relationship between the citizens and government. A constitution does many things. These are the functions of constitution. The question can be asked, what is constitution? Why do we need a constitution, and what do constitutions do? So this is the answer. This is the definition of the constitution, which I have discussed just now, and now we will discuss the functions of the constitution. A constitution does many things. Number one, trust and coordination. It generates a degree of trust and coordination that is necessary for different kind of people to live together. Yes, we all know that India is a diverse country. We have different religions, dialects, different regions, and different climates. Rajasthan, it is very hot. JK, Jammu Kashmir, it is very cold. In Kerala, it rains heavily. There are some areas where it rains very less. So, when some rules are written, we should consider everyone. It generates trust. So, first function of the constitution is that it generates trust and coordination. Second, it specifies how the government will be constituted, who will have power to take which decisions. So, second function of the constitution is how the government should be constituted, what are the powers, what will be the powers of prime minister, what will be the powers of president, what will be the different organs of the government. And third point, it lays down limits on the powers of the government and tells us what the rights of the citizens are. That it tells us about the limitations of the government. It lays limit to the powers of government. It does not give enormous powers to government. Citizens also have some rights, like in our country citizens have 6 fundamental rights. The fourth function of constitution is it expresses the aspirations of the people about creating a good society. So, you know that citizens have different opinions. All these are included, only then we can say that we have come up to the aspirations of the people. So, the fourth function of constitution is that it expresses the aspirations of the people about creating a good society. So now, after learning the constitution of South Africa, let's know our own country, India. All countries that have constitutions are not necessarily democratic, but all countries that are democratic will have constitution. All countries that have constitutions, it is not necessary that they are democratic also, but all countries which are democratic, they will have constitutions. Means constitution is the base of democracy. No democracy can work without a constitution. After the War of Independence against Great Britain, the Americans gave themselves a constitution. After the revolution, the French people approved a democratic constitution. Since then, it has become a practice in all democracies to have a written constitution. After the War of Independence against Great Britain, Americans made their constitution. These are the examples of different countries why they made their constitution and when. After the revolution, the French people, they approved their constitution, and since then, and after that, it has become a practice in all democracies that they will have written constitutions. And in the next part, we will know that we will know about Indian constitution, how Indian constitution was made.